The crystalline halls of the Velkari Museum stretched endlessly, filled with artifacts from 1,000 conquered worlds. Jeremiah walked beside Commander Thexlar, his boots echoing against floors that had witnessed the pride of empires long turned to dust. The Velkari were collectors, obsessive archivists of civilizations they had either absorbed or annihilated. Their forearms gestured with practiced elegance as they catalogued the spoils of their dominance. "This section," Thexlar chittered, his translator rendering the clicks into flat, emotionless words, "contains relics from the Catharian Empire. They ruled 43 systems before we brought them into the fold. 3,000 years ago, by your human reckoning." Jeremiah nodded politely, though his jaw tightened. The fold was a generous term for what the Velkari did. But humanity was new to the galactic stage, diplomatic, cautious, still learning which battles to fight. Then Kylie entered the chamber. She was late, as usual, having stopped to examine some Terran exhibit the Velkari had acquired through legitimate trade negotiations. Her auburn hair was pulled back in a messy bun, and she carried herself with that peculiar human casualness that made most species uncomfortable. Jeremiah caught her eye and gestured toward the Catharian display. That's when it happened. The skull idol, a monument of blackened bone and unknown metal, standing 3 meters tall in the center of the room, tilted forward. Not a collapse, not a malfunction, a deliberate, measured bow. The room fell silent. Kylie froze mid-step. Did that just— "Impossible," Thexlar breathed, all 4 hands suddenly rigid. "That artifact has been inert for millennia. Our scientists have studied it extensively. It is simply bone and composite materials, no power source, no mechanism." Jeremiah's hand instinctively moved toward the sidearm that wasn't there. Diplomatic visits didn't allow for weapons. "Kylie, don't move!" But she was already walking forward, curiosity overwhelming caution in that distinctly human way. Why did it bow? The skull's empty eye sockets seemed to track her movement. As she stepped closer, it bowed deeper. Thexlar's skin rippled with colors Jeremiah had learned to recognize as fear. "Human Kylie, step away from the idol immediately. We do not understand what—" "The Catharians," Kylie interrupted, her voice distant as she read the plaques surrounding the display. "You said they ruled 43 systems. What happened to them?" "They were integrated. Their aggression made them unsuitable for— You wiped them out." Kylie's voice wasn't accusatory, just matter of fact. She'd read enough histories. "When?" 3,247 years ago, Thexlar admitted. "But that has no bearing on—" "That's oddly specific." Kylie circled the idol slowly. It rotated to follow her, that massive skull turning with impossible grace. "Jeremiah, when did humans start keeping skull trophies? Honoring our dead with remains?" Jeremiah felt ice crystallize in his veins. "Kylie, Neanderthals did it. Homo heidelbergensis probably did too. Further back than we can properly trace." She stopped directly in front of the idol. "This thing isn't Catharian, is it, Commander?" Thexlar said nothing. His translator had gone silent, but his skin flashed rapid patterns of distress. Kylie reached out slowly, her hand stopping centimeters from the blackened bone. "The Catharians didn't make this. They found it. And whatever it is, it recognizes something in me." The idol straightened suddenly, rising to its full height. Ancient mechanisms groaned to life, not mechanical, not digital, but something else entirely. The air around it warped and shimmered. Then it spoke, not in clicks or chirps or any of the galactic trade languages. It spoke in something older, deeper, frequencies that resonated in Jeremiah's chest, syllables that felt like they were bypassing his ears entirely and carving themselves directly into his brain. But Kylie gasped. "I understand it. she whispered. "I don't know how, but I understand it." "What is it saying?" Jeremiah demanded. Her eyes were wide, pupils dilated. It's asking. It's asking why we took so long to return." She swallowed hard. "It calls this place a tomb. It says the Catharians founded on a world they conquered, a world on the far edge of their empire, a world with primitive life that hadn't yet reached the stars." Thexelar's voice crackled through the translator. "What world? What primitive life?" Kylie's hand finally touched the skull, and the entire chamber blazed with light. Images flooded the walls, not projections, but memories burned into the very air. A blue-green world, creatures that walked upright, tools, fire, cave paintings, earth, millions of years before humanity would dream of the stars. "They were us," Kylie breathed. Or we were them. Something human or proto-human made it off Earth long before we thought possible. They built an empire, and when it fell, they left these markers, warnings, promises. The idol's voice filled the chamber again, and this time even Jeremiah felt the ghost of understanding. "It says," Kylie translated, tears streaming down her face, "that humanity has died and been reborn across the galaxy 100 times. That we rise, we fall, we forget, and we rise again. It says the Velkari's empire is young, but humanity—" She looked at Thexelar with something between pity and ancient recognition. "Humanity is eternal." The light faded. The idol bowed once more, then went still. In the silence that followed, Jeremiah watched Commander Thexelar back away slowly, his skin cycling through colors of submission, fear, and something very much like reverence. "Your people," the Velkari whispered, "have been here before." Kylie wiped her eyes and managed a shaky smile. "Yeah, and we'll be here long after you're a footnote in someone else's museum." They left the chamber together, but Jeremiah couldn't shake the feeling that the skull's empty sockets were still watching, still waiting for the next time humanity would need to remember what it had always been: inevitable, eternal, human.